Hi. Okay, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about healthy eating, but we're going to go down to the core and discuss not only healthy eating, but how can you boost your mood during this time? We're also going to be talking about meditation. What can you do to find your core and relax and center yourself to eliminate stress, as well as eliminate things that are going on in your everyday life that you may not be able to know how to handle at the time. We're also going to be talking about conspiracy theories. What is your conspiracy theory? What did you guys believe? Everything down to Black people who couldn't catch it, to young people who could not pass it. And finally, we're going to discuss what have you been doing with the time that you've been given and during this quarantine. All on today's episode of Early Talk with Rizzo Denise. This has got to stop. This really has to stop. I saw a video of a place in China where they had the audacity to write on paper that blacks, not if you're infected, these but blacks cannot enter McDonald's due to the COVID-19. And you know what? There's actually people in the comments defending them, saying, well, they may not know. Their news outlets only share what they want to share as well. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's just blatant racism. And it's sad that it's still going on to this day that we have to deal with that as blacks. It's still systematic racism. And ever since the Emancipation Proclamation, we still have not been free. We got to kiss the sun, like they said in the book, The New Jim Crow, for a second, but we had to get put back in the shadows as always. So I'm very irritated, infuriated, confused about what is going on in our culture and the population, and we're going to talk about it. If you would like to be a guest on Early Talk with Rizzo Denise, hit us up. I live in New York City, and being here, I understand the New York Minute, the city never sleeps metaphors, because that is exactly how New York City is. If you're not making money or trying to find a way to make money every minute here, you're going to be in some serious problems, because this city is the most expensive city probably in the world. I know Iceland's a little bit up there, but New York City is in that category. And that's why it was really strange to me when the government were saying they were going to give out these checks, because I'm sorry, but $1,500 is not a lot. I was talking to my grandma the other day, and she was so happy. You would have thought she won the lottery. She said, "Hey, babe, they're giving out checks. Isn't that great?" And I was like, yeah. Like, I guess, Grandma, like, that's a bill. That's not really anything, but I didn't want to ruin her happiness and her joy, so I was just like, yeah, that's great, but why didn't they just go off of percentile? Why didn't they go off of, since this is the epicenter, since the cost of living is higher here, why not give out 5 G's? What's with the 1,500? What is that? Some people's rent here is $3,000, $2,000, 1,500, and it's for one time. And there's over 4 million people on unemployment or applying for unemployment. I don't get it. Those are confusing questions to me, or confusing events that are happening to me. So I wanted to open up and talk about my experience being in the epicenter of the coronavirus, and as a person who is dealing with this firsthand as a civilian. And I'm still working, and I'm also having to take public transportation. So one of the biggest things I've noticed is that the trains have little to no people on there as opposed to how it was before the whole outbreak. There aren't as many people, but there is a lot of trash on the trains. I don't know what's going on with MTA workers. I don't know if they're short-staffed because some people aren't coming in to work due to this virus, but it's very dirty. And like I told my friends on Facebook, I don't even wear the mask anymore because of the virus. I wear it because there's so much trash on the train. And it makes me feel like that feeling where you're going into an unknown territory, like into the woods for the first time camping, and you're kind of out of place, or that family member's house that you didn't really want to go to in the first place, but your parents made you go for the holidays, and you just don't feel comfortable in that environment. You don't even want to take your shoes off in the house. That's how it feels on the train now. It's like I don't even want to sit down, and there's so many seats open. I feel bad for the homeless because they're even knocked out of their environment. Some people who don't know what it's like to be homeless may say, well, they don't have a home to go to, whatever have you, but they still have areas that they were comfortable in too. And I would imagine places that were open 24 hours a day that now are closed were areas that they probably went to during the daytime, the nighttime, just to get out of the environment for a little bit. But now that there's so many businesses closed, they have to find somewhere to go during certain parts of the day where they're safe. And the train is one of them. There are a lot of homeless on the train sleeping. They have their items with them, and it's sad. Hey everybody, this is Rizzo Denise. Be sure to go on to Amazon.com and get your copy of Wrath of a Scorn Pass. See you there.
So special.
Alright guys, so let's get right into it. The news has said that blacks are leading in the coronavirus pandemic with the most deaths due to pre-existing conditions. Basically saying that we're not taking care of our bodies the way that we should be. So let's find solutions. If you've been watching the show and keeping up with us, we have been talking about ways to take care of ourselves and eating right. I believe since episode 2, if I'm not mistaken. So in this episode, we're going to recommend you go back and check that one out, as well as take the advice of what we're giving on this one. Number 1 is mushrooms. Mushrooms do boost your immune system as well, because it does contain vitamin D. Now with blacks, we are vitamin D deficient, because with our melanin, it helps block out the sun rays, which have vitamin D. Mushrooms are okay for me. I like to mainly put them in my salad because of the fact that they don't have a distinctive taste, in my opinion. I like to chop them up and mix them with banana peppers, olives, tomatoes, spinach. I like to add it on to things. I like to put it on pizza. I don't know if people like the cheese. Some people that watch the show are vegan, vegetarian, so whatever you like, but I believe that it does taste good with that too. So vitamin D is something I definitely will recommend. And also because since it helps boost the mood, we wanted to add that on the list since there's so much going on now due to the coronavirus. People's families are gone and never coming back. People are out of work right now. People are at home. They're trying to find different recipes to concoct because a lot of the stores are closed. So why not make us a pizza from home? Make a salad, because salads can be really, really good if you mix it right. Add some cranberries in there. I used to make meat with sunflower seeds, the plain ones. Oh my gosh. You can just get like the box of them, like the nuts with the almonds, the cashews, the cranberries, the sunflower seeds, the walnuts, and you could just sprinkle that on your salad. It's so good. It is so good with like a little bit of vinegar and oil. It tastes good. Just take my word for it and try it, because I'm a woman who loves flavors, and with that, it tastes delicious. So number one would be mushrooms. So the second food that we recommend is a dark chocolate. That's right. Dark chocolate. It has benefits that helps like easing emotional stress, and it boosts your mood. So for me, I'm not the biggest fan of dark chocolate. You know, guys, I'm not saying these because these are the most tastiest things. I have a friend who loves dark chocolate, so there are people who do like it, but I'm in it more for the health reasons. I'll eat it just, you know, because I know it does my body good. And sometimes that's what we have to do. We have to think of it in that light. I would recommend probably blending it in a smoothie, because that would taste good, like a blueberry smoothie with dark chocolate, or putting it on strawberries, because that does taste good. I have tried that, and that is very, very tasty. So those are just some ideas with the dark chocolate, and make sure it is 70% at least cacao. And for number 3, this one contains one thing that all of these foods and vegetables have. I want you to try to guess what it is. It's oranges, broccoli, kale, mangoes, strawberries. I want you to tell me what do you think all of those fruits and vegetables have? Vitamin C. Vitamin C. So this can be easily consumed. Like, who doesn't like oranges? I used to eat them as a kid. I still eat them up until now. And a lot of people like to steam in them. What I love to do, what's so healthy for everybody that I'm trying to push and push and push to get people to try. It's cost efficient. Anybody can do it. The steam that I did last episode. Kale, you can put in your salads. Strawberries. Like I said, with the dark chocolate, you can use it like that. You can use it in a smoothie. I used it in a smoothie a couple of days ago. I got frozen strawberries with blackberries, a little honey, water, and that smoothie tastes like it was from Smoothie King. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but it was delicious. And mangoes. Mangoes is my favorite fruit. I can eat mangoes by itself. I wouldn't really push anything that it needs to be mixed in or used as an add-on. Mangoes are just so good. They're so good. And if you eat them when they're ripe, oh my gosh, they're just delicious. And what more can you ask for that it has vitamin C? So those are the ones that I recommend for you to try. Again, you can mix and dabble with a few of them, but the biggest thing that we need to do is to boost our immune system. Boost the immune system, boost our mood, so we can fight this off together as a team, and we can make it through this together as a unit. And it's like they say, together we stand, divided we fall. So let's get this done. So remember, those are the three: vitamin C, dark chocolate, and mushrooms.
Describe it or
like it.
Let me stop.
Yeah, we was ready to go.
Nah.
You don't want to make breakfast. You want to catch a couple more Z's before work. Stop by 150 West Pulaski Road, where breakfast is more like an event. Order what you want for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Peep the fast food taste of home sweet home. For more information, dial 631-424-5878. One Stop Deli and Gyro. One love when you get there.
All right, everybody. So welcome back. These are going to be the ingredients that we're going to add today to the smoothie. As you can see, we have strawberries in the back. Now, strawberries is an excellent source of vitamin C, contains a decent amount of vitamin B9 as well as potassium. Down here we have honey. Now, honey is an anti-inflammatory and making it a natural way to boost the immune system. It also fights infections such as colds, and it helps with digestion. In the back, we have the blackberries. Blackberries, blueberries, any blackberry is good for you. The blackberries contain a high source of vitamin C, all right? And it's a good source of fiber. It also contains vitamins K and A. And last but not least, we don't want to fall asleep on the flax seeds. Now, flax seeds have a high source of omega-3 fats. It's a good amount of protein, good amount of fiber. It also contains vitamins B6 and B1 as well as magnesium. I'm gonna be adding bananas to the ingredients. Now, bananas contain vitamin C, as what we've been trying to push this whole pandemic to help boost our immune system, right? As well as potassium. It gives energy to us and helps with digestion. I love bananas. I had a banana last night before I went to work. I actually had two, and unknowingly it boosted my immune system. It helped with that. Also helped with my energy. It gave me so much energy on my shift last night. I had to work a double. I had energy after I left. So let's get to it. I was waiting for you at the front door. that? You remember that from Beyond Scared Straight or Scared Straight with the kids? Anyway, this is the smoothie here. Can you guys see it right here? Sorry about the light. You know, I ain't the best cameraman. Anyway, so we're gonna be adding strawberries first. I already put the bananas in, you can see. At the bottom too is water. This is water. Just so that the smoothie isn't so thick that it doesn't stir well. Honey. I just stop until my ancestors tell me to. Right there. Blackberries. And the flax seeds. I'm gonna throw blueberries in here too. You don't have to put blueberries in here. You're still gonna get all the benefits that we discussed earlier, but I wanna throw these in here. I like blueberries. Now we're gonna put the top on and I'm gonna pulse it first. Pulsing is like when you hit the mixer. You don't just keep it constantly spinning because we want to make sure it gets spun properly, all the ingredients go in. So you'll see what I mean by pulsing for the ones who don't know. And there you have it. Smoothie.
You ever heard of a saying, when it rains, it pours? Why is it when the rent's due, all of a sudden you got car problems? Well, here's a comfort to your ears. Bring your car down to 136 Railroad Street, Huntington Station, New York. Scott's Automotive. Scott's Automotive, where you get a great service from the best mechanics in town. Need a wheel alignment? Scott's Auto. Need a tune-up? Scott's Auto. Even complications like transmission replacement? Scott's Auto. For more information, dial 631-673-3915. That's 631-673-3915. Scott's Automotive, 136 Railroad Street, Huntington Station, New York.
Okay, now that we got the body right, next we're gonna see, and I wanna ask you, what are you doing with the time that you have now? The time that we, unfortunately, may not be able to go out with our friends, travel, things that we're used to doing on a regular, working. Being quarantined could be tough, but with the time that we use it to the best of our ability, we can use that to push ourselves forward and execute goals that we've been putting on the back burner. Resumes is something that's very important. Now's the time that we can update those. Is there a job that you always wanted that you never really had the time to do research about, send a resume off to, was a little discouraged because too much time wasn't available to you. I've been watching a couple videos on YouTube, and there's a guy named Andy Lasavita that talks and goes way more into depth about resumes, more that I'm going to be doing today. But I kind of wanted to give you something to think about. Now, resumes, it could be a little bit tricky a lot of times during this day and age. We don't necessarily have the opportunity to go to the company, introduce ourselves, tell them that we want the job. Could we see them right away, set up an interview? The culture now is different, and now we have to go online, fill out an application, then send the resume off, hope they call us back, wait. But at least during this time, we can have a nice polished resume so that when they see it, they're going to want to call. They're going to want to know more. They're going to want to hire. When I was watching videos on Andy, his name is Andrew on YouTube, but he calls himself Andy. He goes into depth about the resume part at the very top. You want it to be centered with your name in bold, and you want it to be nice and clear of who you are. That part's like introducing yourself. It's saying, hi, this is me. You're shaking the hand. Hi. So you don't want a bunch of crap at the top. You don't want like the full address. You could put the city and state because they're going to, of course, want to know how far you are from the company. You know, how you're going to be able to get there and whatever. Not how you're going to be able to get there, but the distance between the company and you. Also, a nice email where they can reach you for an update. They can ask you if you would like to come in for an interview, and your phone number. Now, with the email, okay, not your Instagram name if it's not your full name. Not, I'm that one and only Sarah, or hot tamale, hot to trot Tina. You don't want that. Make sure it's your name, something simple, and email. Name, email. Jessica at Taikisha Williams at Yahoo. LaShonda Tate at Google, Gmail, whatever. Don't put something that's not your name, because you want your name to like repeat to the person, the HR coordinator, the manager, whoever's looking at your resume. Also at the top, Andrew Lasavita says you want to be able to sell yourself right there. So don't put the objective at the top. It doesn't make sense for you to say what you want on your resume when the resume is supposed to show what you can offer. Don't put an objective, and don't put your education at the top unless you just got out of college, I believe. So those things, the objective shouldn't be on there at all. The education could be on there, but at the bottom. Don't put bullets at the top. It's kind of messy, it's junky, so you really just want to explain who you are, what you can do so that that company can excel. I remember when I went on my interview to a job, and that night before, I was looking up questions to ask. I was making sure my resume was tip-top shape. I had 3 copies of my resume. I had already sent one to the company because I noticed on interviews, they're going to always ask you if you have it. It just shows your punctuality. They don't really need it, but because they already have it, of course, but it demonstrates that you're prepared. Make sure you have your resume, also a cover letter. I mean, all jobs aren't going to ask for a cover letter, but it's just nice to have one just in case. And make sure you dress well. Dress like you're going to church. Now, if you're one of the women who like to wear the hats, don't really wear the hat to the interview. You can wear the suit, but don't wear that church hat, no. But make sure that you want to dress as if you were gonna present yourself in that way. Very nice, clean. Make sure you get the cut before you come in, line up for the men. Women, just make sure you're not wearing too much heavy makeup. It depends on the job that you're going to, of course. But if it's something that involves business, make sure you don't have too much going on your face, like a light makeup. Your nails don't need to be super long. Make sure they're nice. Like even like they could be like this. If you're used to getting your nails done all the time, you can get them like a French manicure or something like that. But you just don't want to look too busy here. You don't want to look too busy. You want to show that you came ready. You know, I remember I had bought a suit. I didn't care. I was dressed up like I was going to a doctor's interview. I had it was a shoulder briefcase, like the ones you can wear around the shoulder. And I had questions for them because I kept in mind, I have a value. This isn't me wanting to work only for you. This is us coming into a partnership and we're working together as a team. So I had my questions. And I remember one was saying, what is the opportunity that you have at the company for growth? What can you, meaning like, what can you do for me? What's the opportunity for growth? You know, what are other people doing here to excel in the business? What makes a great candidate for the business? Come up with ideas and questions that you can ask them to show, hey, I mean business. I was doing some research, so I wanted to know about this, and so on. So you're not just out there looking like you're desperate for a job. I have value, and I'm coming to show you that I do, and I also want to know, what do you have for me? Think of it like that in your mind. Don't be disrespectful, of course, but just let them know you're about your business too. So those are the things I recommend. Again, his name is Andy Lasavita. He goes way more into depth about how a resume should look, how you should present yourself. He even has videos on the interview process, how to go there, what to say. Less is more. You don't want to do too much talking. You know, they have stuff they got to do. You got stuff you got to do too. So you want to keep it down to the minimum, but use words to formulate and position yourself so that you can get that job that you want. Take this time to keep moving forward. Yeah, we're stuck a little bit in quarantine, but this doesn't mean that we're going to sit around and not do nothing. Play the game all day or watch videos all day, unless there are videos that can help you move forward.
Hey yo, check it out everybody, this is Blake Caesar INC. And yo, I'm back. And I got the new. Go stream my new music. Go stream the joint. It's called Like That by Blake Caesar INC. Peace and love to everybody, man. Apple Music, y'all know what it is. Go stream that right now. Peace. One.
If you would like to be a guest on Early Talk with Rizzo Denise, hit us up.
You can't have flow without fluidity. Ladies and gentlemen, she got what you need. That gorgeous view to get you through your day. Model vixen Kimchi releases her new project called Fluidity. You can't have flow without fluidity. Available for download or physical purchase. Hold her down, people, and show her your support. Available only on modelsandvixens.com.
Okay, before we get into the topic of conspiracy theories, this just in, I wanted to share this with you guys. This is brand fresh new information I found out today. It says, according to the Surgeon General of the United States of America, they're going to get rid of the model, Bill Gates, who wants everyone to get vaccinated. And the Surgeon General of the United States says the numbers have been inflated or exaggerated. And it pertains to the deaths in the majority of the states. Like we've been saying. Now I want to move into the conspiracy theories topic. Do you remember when they were saying that young adults could catch the virus, but they couldn't spread the virus, or they just couldn't catch it at all? And blacks, we couldn't catch it at all. Well, we found out that that wasn't true. As well as there was a conspiracy theory that China was the first to expose the pandemic of the coronavirus. But then after it spread, and everybody in the United States was running out of masks, gloves, ventilators, China was selling all of that back to us. So could it have been a biochemical war that they were pushing? Another conspiracy theory, I don't know. But it made me think, and I started looking and doing research and watching videos and seeing how China was indeed kicking blacks out of their homes because they were afraid that they were going to pass the virus that they exposed to them. Then I was like, well, that's messed up. Let me see if NBC or Fox, well, I already knew Fox wasn't going to say anything. I said, let me see if anybody's going to be talking about this on national television, because this is quite crazy. I mean, they were talking about how all of us were dying, but I'm flipping the channels and I don't see anybody talking about how they're putting blacks in exile for no reason. There wasn't any tests proving that these people had it. There wasn't any proof that they were spreading it, and they just were getting kicked out by the color of their skin. So then I thought, is this fair? Have we ever been treated fairly? Then I thought about, the Emancipation Proclamation was supposed to set us free. That was the whole reason for it. But then black codes came, Jim Crow laws came, and that kept the foot on blacks' necks all the way up until now, as we see. I think that people get so blinded by one outlet and they really just become naive, and then they want to come at us or people who look at other sources of outlets and say we're conspiracy theorists. All the way back to the vaccinations, which I brought up about the breaking news. Bill Gates went from Microsoft to now being the head of health all of a sudden, to wanting to help people. And his biggest thing was not herbalism or being an herbalist. It was pushing vaccinations, which was weird to me. I don't know of any studies that prove vaccinations cure anything. I remember Robert De Niro offered $100,000 to the makers of vaccines to take their own vaccines, and no one has grabbed that money yet. I know if I created something and I stood behind it, and somebody's offering me that much money to take what I created, please, I would have felt like this was too good to be true. Then anyway, I started thinking about other things that's happened to us through the government, like the Tuskegee experiment that happened in 1932. The whole purpose of the experiment was to find the origin of syphilis. So they took black men who had it, and then they also took ones who did not, to test them. We come to find out that they were actually injecting the ones who did not have it with the disease. And they did not tell them they were doing this. Instead, they were telling them they were giving them free health care and free burial care. Come to find out, 7 men unfortunately died in this process. And the families did receive reparations for it. Then I started thinking, and I went back even further. I said, well, nah, this isn't, this is land of the free, right? Then I thought about the genocide against Native Americans by whites, and how they offered blankets to them, and the blankets carried smallpox. So I think with me, I've become a little bit questionable. I scratch my head, it's probably why I got dandruff, when people offer free anything, especially vaccinations. May not even have insurance, but I can get a free vaccination. I wonder why. why. I wonder why. People call me crazy and people who think like me, but I'm fine with that. Because I like to tell myself, you're not supposed to be so blind by politics that you can't even face reality. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So that concludes this episode of Early Talk with Rizzo Denise. I hope you learned something. I hope you do something with the time that you have. And we'll be back again to show and share more information. So until next time, thank you. Spreading love, love everyone, and I will see you very soon.